Swiggity swag, what's in the bag? Jay here, and I am bringing you guys another top 5 list, and this is my top 5 Generation 6 Pokemon I would like to see get Mega Evolutions in the future. As we already know, with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, we actually already have a Generation 6 Mega being Diancie. Now, of course, Diancie is not really the best Mega, and second of all, it's not even released yet, but we do know that Diancie is our first Gen 6 Mega, so it is not completely out of the blue or anything like that when it comes to Gen 6 Megas. But this list is fully opinionated, so you do not have to agree with my opinion, but as long as you respect my opinion, I will respect yours. And if you do not agree with my opinion, you can leave your own top 5 Generation 6 Pokemon that you would like to see get Mega Evolutions down in the comment section below. I'm just gonna let you know right now, the starters are not on this list because those are honorable mentions. So let's go ahead and jump into this list. Boom. So coming in at number 5 on this top 5 list is Pyroar, and Pyroar is on this list because okay, I've noticed something about Pyroar in terms of its abilities, okay, and its stats. Pyroar is more of a special attacker, and it has decent speed. But tell me, why does it get Moxie as a hidden ability? I'm not even sure if its hidden ability is even released yet, but that doesn't even matter at this point. What I want to know is, this thing's physical attack stat is absolute garbage compared to its special attack stat. I think its special attack stat is like over base 100, or it's like base 100, I don't know, and then its speed is base 100 or higher than that, but its attack stat is like base 65 or something. I don't know, I'm just naming numbers off the top of my head, but I know this thing's attack stat is not really the best. So what they could do for Mega Pyroar or something like that is they could just they could like flip the attack stat and special attack stat, and then just give it a boost in attack, and then give it Moxie as its mega ability, because then that would make Moxie a lot more viable, or Moxie Pyroar a lot more viable. Because why would you give Moxie to a Pokemon whose stat is just garbage in the first place, or whose attack stat is garbage in the first place? Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I wouldn't have a problem if Pyroar's attack stat was actually decent, but it's not. And even after like a Moxie boost, it's still not good. So why would anyone want to run a physical Pyroar over a special Pyroar? Because you don't want to sit here and have to wait like 2 turns in order to get your attack stat up to a point where you can do decent amount of damage, when you can just go ahead and go in with a special attack stat that is pretty high already and just wreck. You know what I mean? So what I want them to do is just make this thing Mega, or what I would like for them to do is make it Mega, flip their special attack and attack stat, and make Moxie a little bit more viable for this thing, because that's all I can see them doing with this. So coming in at number 4 on this top 5 list is Goodra, and Goodra is on this list because, like I said before, I want all pseudo legendaries to get Mega Evolutions, and Goodra is no exception. Earlier this week, we actually just got Mega Metagross, which is also a pseudo legendary. So so far we have Mega Garchomp, T-Tar, and Metagross. So the only ones who still need to get Mega Evolutions are Goodra, Hydreigon, Salamence, and Dragonite. So but you know, that's just because it's a pseudo. But let's go ahead and talk about Goodra for a second. Goodra, for some strange reason, I've never understood why Goodra was pure dragon. I never understood that. I just cannot wrap my head around it. It's pure dragon, but it learns so many water type attacks, and not only that, well, first of all, it learns a very nice range of attacks, but it learns a lot of water type attacks, and it evolves and then Sliggoo evolves at level 50 in the rain. So you're telling me that this thing has such a specific way of evolving, and yet it's not a water type. Like, it has to evolve in the rain, but it's not a water type. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Why would you make this thing pure dragon, but it has to level up by rain? So what I want them to do with Goodra is, if they make it a Mega Evolution, make it Water Dragon, or make it Poison Dragon or something. I don't know, because you know, it's like goopy and stuff, but I would like for them to make it at least Water Dragon, give it a boost in maybe special attack and special defense, excuse me, or maybe physical attack and special defense, or physical defense or something. But I just want them to give this thing another typing, water typing to be precise. So coming in at number 3 on this top 5 list is Noivern, and Noivern is on this list because, I don't know, I've always enjoyed, or I always liked the concept of behind Noivern. You know, Noivern is like a sound bat kind of like thing, you know. It's the sound wave Pokemon that just sounds cool to me. I don't know why, it just sounds cool. But I've always enjoyed, or I like the concept behind Noivern. But in terms of stats, I mean, its special attack stat is like, it's like what, base 97, I want to say. It's not even base 100, and it kind of upsets me that it's not as high as it should be, especially for a Pokemon that gets like Boom Burst too. Like, oh my goodness. So what I could see them doing with Noivern is, well, first of all, how come sound is not a type, and yet we have sound moves, and we have moves, like, sound has such a nice mechanic to it that I don't even know why they didn't make it a type. At the same time though, if they did make it a type and still kept its mechanic of it hits through substitute, then, I mean, I don't know, sound would be an overpowered type, but we already have an overpowered type called Fairy, you know? But as far as Noivern goes, I would like to see them give them a special attack boost and speed. I mean, that's really all this thing is good for. This thing is quite fast, not gonna lie. It's pretty fast. I think it actually outspeeds Greninja by like 1 point. But with that being said, its special attack stat is like, it's mediocre. You usually run like choice specs on it, or like Life Orb or Expert Belt or something like that. Sometimes you run Wide Lens so you can actually hit Hurricane, because Hurricane's a really powerful move, and this thing gets Boom Burst too. So I don't know, I feel like it's just lacking that power that dragons should deserve. That's just me though. So coming in at number 2 on this top 5 list is Yveltal, and you probably was not expecting Yveltal to even make it onto this list, but I have a very logical reason as to why I want Yveltal to get a Mega Evolution. Now, of course, this does not count out Xerneas completely. Xerneas, if Yveltal gets a Mega, I would love for them to give Xerneas a Mega too, but at the same time though, when it comes to Yveltal, Yveltal is outmatched by Xerneas by a landslide. And I mean, you can say the same thing about Groudon and Kyogre. Groudon is completely outmatched by Kyogre. But at the same time though, Groudon, when it comes to Groudon, Groudon has Drought, which can nuke water type attacks and gets Solar Beam. So it can take on, even though it doesn't take hits from Kyogre very well, it still has something that could like give it an edge. Yveltal has nothing that gives it an edge, okay? Xerneas bodies this thing like mad, okay? Let's see, first of all, Yveltal's main stab, or one of its stabs, is resisted by Xerneas. Next thing you know, Xerneas gets Geomancy, okay? What does Yveltal get? Yveltal gets Oblivion Wing. Now, I'm not necessarily sure what all the effects of Oblivion Wing is outside of getting your health back, but I don't think an Oblivion Wing is really going to kill a Xerneas with a Geomancy up. I'm just saying, I don't know, but I just feel like Yveltal is just completely outclassed, and it needs more of an edge against Xerneas. With that being said though, Xerneas should get Mega 2. So coming in at number 1 on this top 5 list is Zygarde, and Zygarde is on this list because this thing also gets bodied by Xerneas. But how can the Order Pokemon get bodied by Xerneas? How can the Pokemon whose ability Aura Break reverses the effects of Fairy Aura and Dark Aura get bodied by Xerneas? I mean, it doesn't matter that Aura Break completely reverses what Fairy Aura and Dark Aura do. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, when you put them up, when you match them up, Zygarde and Xerneas bodies Zygarde, okay? I just feel like Xerneas can body Zygarde with a Moonblast. Good game, GG, it doesn't matter. And then one of Zygarde's stabs is completely, Xerneas is completely immune to it. And then how can you be the Order Pokemon, and the one thing you're supposed to keep in order, you get bodied by? That makes no sense. Plus, this is actually a good way for Game Freak to introduce Pokemon Z, because Pokemon Z just has to be a thing. It has to be a thing. You can't have Pokemon X and Y and have the legendaries start with the X and Y and then not have Pokemon Z and have Zygarde. You can't. You have to have it. It has to be there. Like, if it's not there, Game Freak is just passing up a great opportunity. You know, in before Game Freak does some X squared, Y squared crap. I don't know. They just have to make Pokemon Z, and we can get the Zygardeite, and then Mega Zygarde will put Xerneas and Yveltal in their places. Okay, now Yveltal and Zygarde, I feel like they're more like, you know, evenly matched. But when it comes to Xerneas completely destroys both of them. I mean, I'm not sure how much Aura Break actually reverses the effects of Fairy Aura, or I mean, it just reverses the effects of Fairy Aura. I'm not sure what Fairy Aura boosts it by, but I still feel like a Moonblast from a Xerneas, especially Geomancy Xerneas, will body Zygarde any day. So if we get a Mega Zygarde, in terms of stats, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it has decent attack, decent speed, it gets Dragon Dance, it gets extreme speed. This thing has a great move pool, but Xerneas just completely bodies it in every type of way, and it's just, it's quite sad. It's quite sad. So that is my top 5 Gen 6 Pokemon I would like to see get Mega Evolutions in the future. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button, as it does help support the video, support the channel. It makes me a very happy guy. Also, don't forget to leave your own top 5 Gen 6 Pokemon you like seeing Mega Evolutions down in the comment section below. Next week, since we're all done with the Mega Evolutions, I guess I could just do top 5 Megas or top 10 favorite Pokemon. So you can go ahead and leave that in the comment section below as well, whether you like to see me do my top 5 Megas or top 10 Megas or top 10 favorite Pokemon. And I would like to see you guys later. What? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I will see you guys later. Peace.